What would you do if you had a free reign over education?
Most teaching today is a lot like vaudeville. As a result, it's just not that compelling. It's like somebody standing up there and lecturing to you, and they've done the same lecture several years in a row. They're not necessarily all that engaged. People learn and are interested in different things at different paces. Some people love English or languages, some people love math, some people love music, and different abilities at different times. You really want to disconnect the whole grade level thing from the subjects. Allow people to progress at the fastest pace that they can or are interested in each subject, from like 5th grade to 6th grade to 7th grade, like it's an assembly line. But people are not objects on an assembly line. That's a ridiculous notion. That seems like a really obvious thing. I mean, generally you want education to be like as close to a video game as possible. You do not need to tell your kid to play video games. They will play video games on autopilot all day. So if you can make it interactive and engaging, then you can make education far more compelling, far easier to do. It's important to teach problem solving, or teach to the problem, not to the tools. Let's say you're trying to teach people about how engines work. You could start by, a more traditional approach would be to say, well, we're going to teach you all about screwdrivers and wrenches, and you're going to have a course on screwdrivers, a course on wrenches, and all these things. This is a very difficult way to do it. A much better way would be like, here's the engine, now let's take it apart. How are we going to take it apart? Oh, you need a screwdriver. That's what the screwdriver is for. You need a wrench. That's what the wrench is for. And then a very important thing happens, which is that the relevance of the tools becomes apparent. When you see something like the Khan Academy and so forth, I think that's probably going in the right direction.
Sal Khan here from Khan Academy, and I just wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to Elon Musk and everyone at the Musk Foundation for their incredibly generous support for Khan Academy. They just recently gave a $5 million donation to Khan Academy.
So how would you educate your 5 boys?
Actually, I created a little school. They like it.
You want to keep them away from regular schools?
No, I just didn't see the regular schools. They weren't doing the things that I thought should be done. Maybe creating a school will be better. And I actually hired a teacher from the school they were at, who also agreed with me that there was a better way to do it.
What kind of school? Could you describe to us?
Sure, it's only got 14 kids now, and it'll have 20 kids in September. It's called Ad Astra, which means to the stars. That's maybe a bit different from most other schools, is that there aren't any grades. There's no like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 type of thing. I'm making all the children go in the same grade at the same time.
Do you agree with Peter Thiel about the unnecessariness of university, higher education?
I do agree with Peter's point that a university education is often unnecessary. That's not to say it's unnecessary for all people, but you probably learn about as much, or the vast majority of what you're going to learn there in the first 2 years. It introduces you to concepts you would otherwise have to learn empirically. And there are examples of successful entrepreneurs who never graduated high school, those that have PhDs. So I think the important principle is to be dedicated to learning what you need to know, whether that is in school or empirically. A lot of companies, they do want to see the completion of the degree because they're looking for someone who's going to persevere and see it through to the end, and that's actually what's important to them. So it really depends on what somebody's goal is. If the goal is to start a company, I would say no point in finishing college. Freedom. I think you can learn whatever you need to do to start a successful business, either in school or out of school. School, in theory, should help accelerate that process. But I think people can choose to be not ordinary. I think it's possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary.